Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever time of day this video finds you. It's boy Jay here, and you saw the title, you saw the thumbnail, you know what we're going to be talking about today, and that is a question, dear viewer. Should negative skills make a comeback for Monster Hunter 6? One of the many criticisms of modern Monster Hunter that I've seen a lot in discourse in various places online is that in these newer games, mainly World and Iceborne, Rise and Sunbreak, you can bring a truckload of skills into a hunt fairly easily, right? And you're looking at your screen right now, and here are a couple examples of that. I mean, I threw these builds together like hella quickly. They're trash. I didn't actually use them for a hunt, but just to prove the point of how many skills you can actually bring with you on a hunt. Relatively easy. These did not take me long to make. I was just throwing stuff together, and yet I was able to pull together this many skills with a single armor set, right? When you compare that to how it used to be in Gen 4 older games, right? I mean, look at this right here. You have 12 slots for skills, right? So the game is like, hey, look, or Capcom, when they make the game, they're like, hey, look, you probably only gonna be able to bring like 12 skills, man. And honestly, you may not, and not all of those skills may be good. That's right. Sometimes you had a negative skill. That's right. A skill would come on where it would have a negative effect on your character, right? So for those of us who haven't played a title older than World, which theoretically is a lot of people, right? World and Sunbreak and Rise have crazy sales when compared to the older titles, so a lot of people may not have played that. So I want to talk about the older armor skill system here, just so everybody's on the same page and they know how negative skills used to work, and then we'll talk about how possibly we can bring this feature back in the future, right? Alright, so for those of us who have never played a game older than Monster Hunter World, I'm going to give you a quick crash course on how armor skills used to work before World, right? So you're looking at my GX Old Fatalis set, right? I got all these skills on, right? However, we were on a number system. Now, this screen does not look that different from a screen that you could see in Monster Hunter Rise, right? Where it gives you the number of skills you get per armor piece that you have on. However, the difference is, in order for a skill to activate in this title, in old Monster Hunter, you had to have 10 points in order for a skill to activate, right? So looking at Critical Eye, right? In my set, you see I have Critical Eye 3. In order to have Critical Eye 3 activate, right, you had to have 20 points in Critical Eye, right? If you had 10 points, then you would have Critical Eye plus 1. If you had 15, you get Critical Eye plus 2. But if you get 20, you get Critical Eye plus 3, which is very different to how it works these days, right? These days, there's 7 levels of Critical Eye. Each of them give you a small incremental boost. Whereas back then, there was only 3 levels, and the 3 levels, you had to use a different number system to achieve that, right? So level 7 Critical Eye means, you have 7 total points of Critical Eye in a modern game. But back then, in order to kind of have that same effect, and it's not even the same effect really, because Critical Eye 3 is not as good as Critical Eye 7 is in the new game, but you needed to have 20 points spread across your entire armor set. So just a little bit more about this number system. In my Critical Eye example, if let's say I got 10 points, I got Critical Eye plus 1. Cool. If I got 11 points, I still only have Critical Eye plus 1, right? I don't get Critical Eye plus 2 until I get to 15. So 10 through 14 is Critical Eye plus 1, right? And the same thing for Critical Eye 3. You gotta have 20 points if you want Critical Eye 3. So if you got 16, 17, 18 points, those extra points are useless. They're doing nothing, right? So, yeah. So let's look at this screen again, right? You see I have attack down there, right? I have attack listed on my skills, but I only have 1 point. But if you look, I don't have any active skills. That's right. My 1 point of attack don't mean shit. All right. I don't have attack up on this set, right? Now, Look a little bit lower than that, you see defense. I have a defense -1. Dude, do I have a negative defense? No, there's no active skills, right? I only have -1 point in defense. Now, I put that on here on purpose because this kind of leads into the negative skill thing. The decorations in this game in particular, GU, right? If you slot in a point of attack, you got -1 point on defense, right? Now, nothing happens until you get to 10 in either direction. Does that make sense? So if I got 10 attack, then I would have attack up small. But if I got -10 points on defense, I would have defense down small. So back to the set that I'm actually wearing, you saw that I had a negative skill called Horrible Luck on, right? Now, this armor set has quite a bit of decoration slots, but if I want to take away Horrible Luck, I have to use those slots to gem out Horrible Luck, right? So I have to plug points in to make sure I cancel out the -15, right? Because I have Horrible Luck, I'm at -15. So if I plug in 6 positive points of the Fate skill, it would put me back to -9, right? And remember earlier when I said it has to be plus or -10 in either direction for a skill to take effect. So now, as you can see, my Fate skill is now at -9. That means my Horrible Luck and Bad Luck is gone. Now I have no luck, I just have the regular luck, right? So that kind of helps balance out how good the set is, because now I have to spend these decorations on the slots that the armor set gives me to either take out a negative skill, or I could just say, F it, I can live with Horrible Luck, now I can gem in something else. Okay, so now you have a basic, very basic, super basic, crude understanding of how armor used to work back in the Gap, even if you never played those games, right? I didn't want to leave you out of the video if you had never played those games and kind of don't understand what a negative skill is or how it works. So, boom, got you caught up. Great. Now, I am not by any stretch of the imagination suggesting that we go exactly back to that system, right? Because that system was confusing for many newcomers, you know what I mean? So like I told you earlier, you have to have 10 points in a skill in order for it to be active. But, you know, a lot of people didn't understand that. So you'd see, you know, armor sets out there with like attack +9, right? And people thinking like, yeah, bro, I got attack +9, bro. I got extra attack, bro. It's going to be good. When really you've got nothing going on, and you might as well choose something else or slot in another point of attack, right? System was a little hard to use, but once you understood it, you know, it's cool, right? Once you understand it, it's cool. But like a lot of people, you know, if it's your first game and you're trying to figure out, you know, how to get better or how to get stronger, it could be a little confusing. So I'm not suggesting we go back to that. However, with this new system, maybe there are a couple ways where we can introduce negative skills so that you know, the art of, you know, building an armor set gets a little bit harder, right? So maybe we can't bring in as many skills as we could before, right? So in my previous example with the Fate skill, I had to use the decoration slots in my armor to gem out this negative skill that I have, right? And back then, you could actually gem in a negative skill on accident, right? Let's say you're wearing an armor set that has, I don't know, -5 points in attack, and you want to, I don't know, up your defense, and you gem in some more defense. You can accidentally gem in attack down. And now, like, suddenly, dang, I accidentally have a negative skill in here, blah, 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 blah. So I'm kind of suggesting that maybe negative skills could just show up on the armor pieces themselves, right? So maybe the stronger an armor piece is, the more negative skills it has, right? So I don't know, let's just say a random example, Risen Crimson Glow Valstrak's chest, right? Like, it'll come with Dragon Conversion, but also it may come with, you know, attack -1 that you gotta then slot in an attack gem to get back to 0. Does that make sense, right? So maybe it could just have, you know, the negative skills on the armor pieces. And I vastly prefer the craft your own decorations and have random charms, right? But in GU, I mean, the charms could even have negative skills on them, and the decorations have negative skills on them too. And I kind of don't want to go that far. I think it would be cool if only the armor had the negative skills on it, right? And the decorations and the charms that you had only had positive skills, right? So perhaps in this new hypothetical version of the armor system, the armors would have more negative skills on them than they previously had, because the decorations and the charms only have positive skills, and that's what you will use to negate the negative skills. Another thing I have to talk about in this hypothetical armor set system now with negative skills is, in the past, certain skills used to have an inverse relationship with each other. Think back to the example I told you where I had put in an attack up gem on my set, and because I put that attack up gem in, I had a -1 on defense, right? So back then, attack up meant defense down, right? And you kind of had to balance that and keep that in check, where you wanted the attack up, but you didn't really want the defense down, right? So that prevented players from just running away, gemming in a bunch of attack for free. Came with a penalty. It's going to be defense down, right? But in my hypothetical armor set that we're talking about, we don't have that anymore, because I said I wanted the decorations and the charms to all be positive skills. So what I'm suggesting here to have the negative skills is you can have certain armor sets, as in an entire set, right? Could be associated with a particular negative skill. So in this example, I'm just going to say hypothetically, the Nargacuga set has a total of -5 attack on it, right? If you total up the negative points from each of the pieces, you would have -5 attack. But if you wear the whole set together, let's say, you can have a specific set bonus, much like how Iceborne kind of did it, where each monster has a unique set bonus, but you could have the set bonus for the Nargacuga armor set be attack +2. So now by wearing the entire set, you only end up with attack -3, right? So this could incentivize wearing entire sets again, right? But also, if you code at making armor sets, and you can mix your own armor set, and maybe you can have a couple pieces of Narga here and maybe a couple pieces of Rathalos to cancel out that negative attack. Like, if you code like that, go for the mixed set if you want, but you also have a incentive to wear a full armor set again, aside from just the bonuses that we used to get in Iceborne, right? You get a little, you don't get as much negative because you're wearing the entire cohesive set, right? And I think this would reward both types of players, right? So if you're a newbie, you see, oh man, if I get the whole set, I won't have as much attack down. Cool, I can just make this whole set and be great. But if you're an advanced player, you've been playing for a while, you know how to look at the charts and you know how to cross-reference, and you're like, okay, this set is very good because it gives us a lot of attack up, and the negative skills that this armor set gives us is offset by some of the stuff from the Narga set. So if you mix and match your set well, you'll be able to get more min-max out of it, as opposed to just wearing a full set. But if you're not comfortable with the armor system and you want to just cruise and just wear full armor sets, you could put in bonuses in there to help out newer players who are kind of struggling with how to mix and match, right? And of course, this would help me, content creators, like, hey, I mix these pieces together because they have excellent synergy, give it a shot, right? And that's part of this whole thing is, to get us talking to each other, to get us communicating with each other, to get the whole community to come together and be like, yo, I built this set, check this out, it all works. And you don't have to use any of your decoration slots to slide out any negative skills because I mixed it so well because I'm so cold, bro. Everybody try my set, you know what I'm saying? And I think it would harbor a great sense of community and bring back, like, man, you could really, have people who are really skilled at putting together armor sets, you know what I'm saying? And be like, yo, this armor set is great. It takes away all the negatives. It comes with a bunch of positives. And, you came up with it by mixing and matching specific pieces together. I think it could be great. I do think it'd be great. Does it raise the skill ceiling for armor set creation? Of course, right? But it'll also, I think, help with the whole, you can bring too many skills to a hunt these days, right? But that's just one possibility that Capcom could approach this, you know what I mean? And you guys probably have some suggestions, and hey, I'm here to say I will reply to each and every comment that hits this video. So definitely head to the comments down below. Do not be shy about leaving book length comments. I will read them all. I will reply to them all. Let's get this conversation started. What do you think about possibly bringing back negative skills in Monster Hunter 6? That's going to be all for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out. And as always, people, happy hunting. Peace.